And yeah. So Mike, talk to me, man. What are some of the things you've been most excited about that you've been hearing lately? Because we'll run the show for now.
I think, well, kind of the biggest thing is I've had a lot of people call me. Like my phone blew up today, which was cool because people are kind of trying to put a strategy together. Oh. What should they be doing? It's not like I haven't called you like 11 times.
I was gonna say, I know someone else doing that game
and asking you what to do and you know, that kind of thing. And we're not financial advisors. We're not part of, like, we have no ownership in anything, in case anybody didn't know that. Terry and I we just do these kind of for fun, kind of learn. It's an easy way to learn. It kind of gives us the ability to get on here and hear things and questions. And since I would say I'm fairly new to crypto. I mean, I've gotten a little bit of an education over the last couple years, and it's picked up. And I've listened to like Jason Bowdle was a person, and Jess Kennedy really helped me in the beginning. I mean, I accidentally sent like $2,000 into cyberspace, and in my impatience, and luckily Jason had enough smarts to help me recover it, which he did. And so he was the one that taught me how to do all that. So anyhow, a lot of people just been asking, you know, what it's going to be like. Where do you think things are going? And I'm kind of coming back with the same answers, sadly, but you know, it's kind of like hurry up and wait. They're going to lay everything out for us. I mean, that's kind of what Jason is probably going to give us some information today. I think he's going to get on. If he doesn't, then you know, it is what it is. These guys have they're moving 1,000,000 miles a minute, and I know they're I don't know if he showed it publicly in the Telegram group, but he shared some stuff with us just a second ago about that's the wallet, right? Is that what that is, or that's the V2?
Yeah, let's call it the V2 stuff. Yeah.
Okay. You know, kind of what it looks like. So it's kind of cool. But I mean, I'm like, even Stacy, my wife, asked me today, because she overhears me talking with you and other people and stuff. And she wanted my opinion. And she says, are you excited? Are you scared? Are you genuinely concerned? Are you going to run? Do you think it's real? You know, and I kind of just came back. I said, I'm like 99% positively optimistic, because I think it would be dumb to go 100% without seeing stuff, you know, in action. And, you know, because I've always been one of those guys that tries to look at the glass mostly full, almost in everything. And I think that's why I've had success in business and the different things that I've done, is because I've come at it from that perspective. No matter what, I always learn something, like good or bad. It's always an educational piece. It's always something that I'm going to pick up. And to me, it's been nice too, because I've made I believe a lot of new friends in this, you know, community too, that, you know, that most of the people have been pretty cordial. Some of them, they went off the rails a little bit. It happens. But it's been cool, because, you know, Terry and I, we met about a little over a year ago in person for the first time, and built a good relationship. And now we're doing these lives together and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun to do them with you. And I know a lot of people probably benefit from these, because, you know, we put this information out. So anyhow, I just rambled on a whole bunch of stuff right there, Terry.
No, that's great, man. I wanted to know, did Stacy ask if you were going to call me again one more time today?
She didn't, and she had left, and I think I did call you anyhow.
That's hilarious.
I called you one more time.
Yeah, no, it's been great. We're having a lot of fun with these lives. And, you know, someone touched on a nerve in the group the other day, and I get that people are frustrated. But, you know, they said, well, you know, you and Mike used to hype things up, and then you kind of disappeared. And I said, yeah, well, I mean, there's an answer for that, right? Like we are Team Lemon, and we're excited about what's happening here. And so that was not ready to be discussed. And here it is. So it's fantastic. I see Dwayne asking in the chat, and he's asking the same questions. I'm getting the same phone calls you are, man. Like my phone is off the hook.
Is it that one?
A lot of questions, right? And here's my only answer to that is you got to wait and see. But that's not me playing games with everyone. It's just have money in your self-custody wallet, right? We know that it's going to be a Binance Smart Chain to begin with. I mean, that's been stated very clearly. We know that they're working on something for debt coin holders. We know that very clearly.
Hold on. You're good. You're good.
Jason has also been very adamant about you're going to be sour if you sell your tokens. So don't. I mean, those are all things that we're very clear on. And don't leave your money tied up in a bank or on Coinbase, because when you want to use it, that's going to be a problem. But we're talking about oceans of opportunity. It's not like there's only going to be opportunity ready for one person, for the one and only, the very first person at the finish line and nobody else. It's not going to play out like that, right? It's absolutely not going to play out like that. So you're going to get lots of time, ample opportunity, and you're going to sort it out. So we know that we're on Binance. We know that we shouldn't sell our old stuff. And we know that there's lots of exciting stuff coming. And we know that if you leave your money in Coinbase or in a bank, boy, you might have a real hard time getting it out until LemPay and LemBank go live. Until then, you might have some real problems accessing your money. So leave it in a self-custody wallet and just stay plugged in. This is what I call the campfire. Your only job right now is to stay close and huddled around the campfire. And as long as you're around the campfire, you're going to get all the information that you need. And for those of you who are not watching, I mean, it's #YouSponsible. Let's just call it what it is. If you think this is so important, it's going to be the future is going to be so bright, or you have so much money in the past that you're willing to spread FUD every day, but it's not a priority enough for you to tune into the lives that you're being spoon-fed, that doesn't add up, man. Everyone in life has time for their priorities. That's just called a life lesson that never leaves us. We always have time for our priorities. This should be a priority. Stay close to the campfire. All will be revealed in due time, and we're rolling it out. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. Right? Maybe I should stay on the screen a little longer there.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Matt only called you once. Matt, I mean, I've got many calls from you too, Matt. Come on now.
Right. He called me too today. It's okay, Matt. It's no big deal. I mean, I've had to, because this, money is a powerful thing, right? Like money can get people super emotional because it's not just money, because it takes days, years to accumulate money, and it can take seconds to lose it. Right. And that's typically the fear of that. I will, without question, tell anybody, do not, under any circumstances, buy into hype without a full education on what you're putting money into of any kind, whether it's real estate, gold, crypto, data centers, any kind of investment you can think of. You've got to make sure. And I learned a long time ago the hard way that I had to take ownership of my decisions. Like I don't get bitter if something goes south. I do the best I can to make an educated decision, but I'm not one of those guys that points the finger. I learned to take it like a man, good or bad, and keep moving forward. And then at the same time too, I think people, the problem with what we have our hands on and what we are learning and what we're seeing looks so good that it's hard for people not to get a lotto ticket mentality, in my opinion. I mean, and that's the thing you have to be very cautious about. I mean, we see, let me put it to you bluntly. We see really dumb messages come through the telegrams a lot, like just uneducated, dumb comments about when token go up, because nobody's taking the time to do that. We don't know when token go up. Like token gonna go up when token go up because of real assets, real royalties, real business plans. And that's the thing, is it's like people want people to get in. They try to put the spin on it and stuff like that. And I mean, I think people just, a lot of times you just got to take a deep breath, not go all in at the poker table and do that like you're gambling at it, right? I mean, I try to do the best I can to not overhype anything. Terry and I have done I think a good job of this. Yeah, people like to get on these a lot of times, and this is not an endorphin rush we're trying to give people. This is trying to educate people, in my opinion. And that's what really I think a lot of the community has been about, is educating people. So take a deep breath, relax. Information is going to continue to drip out. You got to give yourself some time on this. This isn't, if you think that you're going to go buy a handful of NFTs and then you're done working for the rest of your life and you're sipping on lemonade and counting clouds, ain't going to happen, And so I think that's the thing that people need to really keep in perspective. Your 2 cents, Terry Tiller.
Yeah, I'm reading William's comments. I know he's been struggling with this, in fairness, and uh, feeling like someone walked away with the glass. Let's say this diplomatically. You're touching on a nerve, right? Like, and maybe the people that you perceive to have walked away with the glass are not the ones that walked away with the glass. And imagine what it feels like to be somebody else in those shoes, and I'll kind of leave it at that. So I'm not playing, I'm trying to, yeah. Let me carry on. What else have we got? Do you know if debt will continue to be mined, or will all those NFTs be rolled over to Lemon? Debt's going to continue to be mined, right? There are some people are going to leave some of their eggs in that basket, right? It's just the way that it is. And then over time, they'll find a way. I believe that ProMax is large enough that they'll find a way to bring some new entrants into the ecosystem, and hopefully all will be well, right? I don't want to say that everything's going to be perfect on both sides forever. I mean, I don't know how that's going to play out. I just saying that I have a cautious optimism that my tokens are going to be fine over there. But, for me personally, it's just me personally, not trying to spread any FUD or any drama. I'm going to be moving over my NFTs and leaving my tokens. That's just the honest friend-to-friend advice. That's where you'll find me playing my cards. But you can play your cards however you see fit. Everyone got choices to make. Rick Wisely. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, let me give you Healy's number here. Let me put that on screen for you.
Please don't. I'll reach out to you on the.
Yeah, Rick, if you need stuff, you reach out. All right, the door's open. We're here to help, and we're trying to bridge as many gaps as we can. And believe me, I've been putting a lot of hours trying to help people one-on-one as much as I can to ease the uncertainty. Right, we don't want anyone feeling uneasy about all of this. So
hey, that's a good question by David. Did you see it on the screen?
I'll get there. I'm just rolling through them. I see Uncle Joe also said, Joe, I agree with you on the oxygen, right? And I think that like oxygen to me is the lack of communication, no guidance, no clarity, no communication. That's the sucking out of all oxygen. And as long as people are communicating with me consistently up front and not running and not hiding anywhere, to me, that is the oxygen supply. And, Mike and I tried very hard to be a real bridge for that gap during the lawsuit. And now that we don't have to anymore, we're just also continuing to play that role and helping out and carrying on with that. And now, obviously, we've got some great leaders stepping forward and joining us and communicating a lot, which we're really grateful for. So how do you guys see our chance of being able to get our hands on these new NFTs, the abundance of new eyeballs? Yeah, Jason, listen, they're going to take care of us. Like, for sure, they're going to take care of us. They've been saying it over and over and over and over and over again. There's too much evidence against them to not take care of us and set us up for success because it's all in recording many times. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
Token goes up and buying pressure goes up. Right. Simple math, right? But there's going to be a lot of buying pressure on the way from a lot of different angles. And that's the exciting part, right? It's not that Mike and I have a crystal ball. We just know that it's just simple math. That's the same with all the tokenomics, right? Like someone made a post today, and I didn't verify their math, but about 93% of the Nat G token supply being gone. That's just math. The only other thing that has to happen is a lot of buying pressure from somewhere. But the other half of the equation is already sorted out. Like there's only one outcome when the math hits. So that's exciting.
You see David's question there?
Hold up. Yeah, I was just trying to roll through the questions here on the sidebar. This Lemon set up better. Yeah, we believe that wholeheartedly through and through, right? There are no guarantees in life, but we believe that very strongly. And I don't want to get into that because I don't want to speak on other people's behalf. That's not my story to tell, and I'm not a securities lawyer. But yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. And, I mean, we're well informed, but I'm just not going to ad lib on that particular issue. So, yeah, Rick, you reach out if you need some stuff. We'll try and help as much as we can.
Victoria says, I need Healy too, please. I'm married.
Yeah.
I'm happily married.
But, Mike, it's always so great when ladies say that from anywhere. If you could just record it.
Exactly.
If you just record it and show it to your wife and say, you see what you take for granted, you see. Well, I haven't heard any rah, rah, boom, bah from any side. I haven't seen any of it. I don't.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't heard any of that. All I've heard was that the app is almost done. We're implementing some new features that need to happen for the pivot to happen, and that they're coming next week. I don't see any hype whatsoever in that. I don't see any. When other people are selling from the treasury account and not answering the questions, that's who we ought to really be knocking on doors about.
Interesting.
How many legacy NFTs? I'm not sure about that. I just honestly don't know. I don't think there'll be a limitation to the amount, but there may be a limitation to the number of specific projects you can get into, right? Like, we do not want to centralize the ownership of all of the utility token in this ecosystem. So I don't think you will be able to grab an unlimited quantity as you see fit. I don't think that's realistic. So I'm just, I don't think that's realistic, but hold on.
I'm trying to, I'm just checking to see if there was any messages in the Telegram that I missed.
Yeah.
Where am I at?
Yeah, Jay, let me just double check with him. I'm happy to be on here just answering one-on-one questions and stuff, right? Because it's still valuable for everybody, I think. And Mike and I do have some insights and are knowledgeable. And I do believe Jason's coming on. But he did tell me, like, even right before the call, that he's just scrambling to finish some things up. And yeah, so we will get some good stuff. Everything that you've been looking for is coming and will come before this week ends. Promise that.
You know, during this downtime, before anything launches, it might help those of you who have this kind of anxiety to go on like YouTube and start learning about tokenomics, crypto, and NFTs, capitalized loans from crypto, stuff that you can be proactive with, because obviously everybody's excited for this project because they just, you know, you see a buzz, a community buzz, but we can't have it just be an echo chamber of like I forget who just said that, of the rah-rah, because I don't do rah-rah. Like I can't stand, I'm anti-hype. I can't stand hype.
Can't stand it either.
I'm
talking about math.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like if I don't think I have, the reason Terry said that a little bit ago too was about not doing some of the lives where we just didn't do it. I basically told Terry, I said, if we don't have concrete information, I'm not getting there. I'm not getting on there and talking about anything. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And, you know, and I personally never would want to be responsible for token go up or token go down based on just, you know, people seeing somebody as what they perceive. I may have inside information. I don't have any inside information at all. You know, Terry may have this much more than I do because they're keeping it close to to their chest and telling us when they can with what they're really able to tell us, so we can bring it to you guys. We just happen to be good delivery mechanisms to kind of help ease the onboarding, I guess you could say, is the easiest way to look at what Terry and I are kind of trying to do here, because a lot of our friends have gotten into the crypto space, and all of us did the debt programs. And personally, I want to have a plan that way it doesn't just, I get bombarded with phone calls and emails and stuff like that. So if we know that leverage, we're going to be, good with it. So little ramble there.
Yeah, no, I think that's the point that you're making. Like, when we went silent is because things are too uncertain, period. And we do not want to promote things that we're not on. And everything you heard us ever say on a live, we heard from good sources before we went live, and a goalpost moved in the background, not always in someone's control. Oh boy, I got to choose my words carefully here. Jesus.
I'll get a mute. I'll find the mute button for you real quick.
Talk about a lemon minefield. Someone said, is there a price for lemon NFT? I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I believe, as far as I understand, that all the NFTs are going to be exactly like you've been seeing all along. So just be ready for that. And that's for the token price. It's going to be just like every other OG token. It's going to list at a specific time at a specific price. It'll be a free market thing, and they're going to try and engineer it in a way that no one can just singularly take advantage of the market in the best way that you can protect it. And that's just it. So the tokens are going to get mined into existence, and we're on our way. So, yeah, change your name to my Kiss. That's hilarious. All right, V, we're having fun with you today. That's good. It's good. We all got a good sense of humor here. We're all good. Cotter says swapping NFTs seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more, right? Like, if you already own a huge amount of, let's just use the NATG example because we've used it all day, and we were never hyping NATG. It's just math. If 93% of the supply is gone and it's burning, shrinking every single day, and large money ever hits it, there's only one outcome. Has nothing to do with me hyping it up. And that's how the model is designed, for large money to hit a small supply that's always shrinking. That's not hype. That's math. Anyone who fails to do that math is responsible only for their own lack of doing the math, I suppose. And no one's taking control of anything, William. I think you're just respectfully really far off base. I think you're really missing the plot. There are projects that were either managed, the physical side of it was managed by certain people at all times. It always was, and it still is to this day. And you're going to have complete interoperability any way that you slice it. And you either believe that the Andersons are going to manage projects like the Bev project correctly, or you don't. And if you don't, then you sell those NFTs and you sell those tokens. And if you believe they're going to do a good job of it, then by all means, keep it. And vice versa. If you believe that the other team is going to do a good job managing the physical side of aluminum, then by all means, keep those. And if you don't. All right. It's simple. It's not any more complicated than that whatsoever. And the people who built the technology are nice enough to extend the olive branch to make it easy for everybody. And there's only one team who's putting very clear efforts into doing that. So there we go. If Deadbox and Limit were trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes, they would never have gone what they went through in the last year. Yeah. I mean, one great way of looking at things, right? Yeah. Well, you know, there's
personalities.
There's one way of saying it, Mike.
We'll move on.
At every sandbox. You know, we've all grown up around a lot of variety of personalities. There you go, like Mike has said.
Welcome to tokenomics.
Welcome to tokenomics. Right. It's just math. Tokenomics is tokenomics. It's math, right? At the end of the day, the physical side of the project is going to be well managed. And if you believe that, then you keep your NFTs and your tokens exactly where they are, period. And if you don't believe that that's going to happen, if you don't believe someone has the ability to execute, you're given a huge buffet of options from which to choose from and swap from completely at your free will and leisure. I don't know how you get better than that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's given us anything on that, Michael. Like that's going to be one of those that are just announced when it's announced.
Yeah, they will. They refuse to announce that. Jake addressed that once again yesterday, why they will not until the last minute. So no manipulation can happen. That's it.
Right. Strangers to complain about.
Right. It's just like the people who were always managing the physical side of those particular projects of any of the 11 are still going to continue to manage those physical projects. There isn't anything else. Except some of them will be paired to Lemon Coin, which I think is going to go nuclear. That's just my personal opinion, not financial advice. I do not have a crystal ball. It's only math if and when it does, and no one's going to manipulate it there. But I believe it will go nuclear just based on math, and that will pull up any project paired to it. And all the other projects paired to debt will similarly be pulled up by or down by the performance of how debt does. And so that's the only other bet variable that we have to choose from in terms of variables about how and where you're going to place your bets. So,
I mean, that was kind of the conversation I had with somebody today. I think it was Matt actually, and he was asking me kind of my opinion on it, everything and stuff like that. And I just I had to stop for a second because I was eating a steak for breakfast, which I showed you a picture of, Terry. And from what I understand and what I've learned, if you look at what these guys are setting up with Lemon, debt has turned out to be a hard to say it, but blessing in disguise for learning what we have. But it's now given us an opportunity to keep those assets. Because I mean, when they announced the what is it, Promax? That's the name of that company, right? When Promax put in their partnership, that's a significant thing. I mean, the thing is because all of us have been so starved for an endorphin rush or when token go up, when an announcement comes out, it's almost like people think immediately it's going to the moon and counting clouds and drinking lemonade again. When in fact, they behind the scenes are probably working on a bunch of things, what they're going to do, potential treasury loan, whatever it might be. And that thing could turn out to be as big as we imagined it to begin with. But then if you look at what Lemon has, it's like all the things that we thought were going to happen with debt, these guys are lining up because with the, like I was talking with Matt about the real world assets that we were waiting for with like we were waiting for like black gold to go up due to the fact that they were going to bring in royalties, right? Royalties were going to drive, or the new wells were going to drive the royalties up with the, with what we were talking with the black gold token. But that didn't happen with what Lemon's got coming on board. They're bringing what it appears to be large, extremely successful companies that already have revenue and stuff that are just wanting to tokenize. The dream that I heard 2 years ago during that interview with Joe and Jake about what the potential thing was going to be and how they were going to onboard these things, to me, that's where I think it's like Lemon is dead on steroids in a way, because they're already partnering with massive companies with massive revenues for royalties. So it's just like going to come blowing out of the gates. Like it literally might feel like a whiplash right out of the gates, or not.
Yeah, right. It may not, but I mean, just based on what we're seeing lining up, when you got huge people, huge partnerships, huge new businesses, things that are already cash flowing, profitable, exciting, really aggressive tokenomics, large audiences, big media companies, and so on and so forth. Probably just math. Like, to me, I think saying it on steroids is the perfect metaphor, right? So there's been a lot of pain on the other side. And, I don't think anyone can say with a straight face they've been happy with how things have been run over there. But if you do, hats off to you. Everyone's entitled to their own lens from which they view the world. But we can all still hope, right, that it'll turn around. Like, I haven't lost hope that we'll all turn around. I saw the question in there about, do we still think they're getting treasury loans? And I will address that, because I don't know. There's no possible way I could know definitively. But from what I'm hearing, it does sound very likely. And ergo, the reason, like I said earlier, I'm leaving my tokens there. I'm going to sit and wait when it comes to the tokens. That's just me personally. I'm going to sit and wait when it comes to the tokens and hope that Promax. I also, guys, think about the perspective of Promax. It's just my personal opinion, but do you think they want a shit show on their brand? Like, they're not going to, right? So they will make whatever necessary changes are there. They've got lots of other businesses that may or may not get tokenized. They've got lots of other connections with other businesses that may or may not get tokenized. But there's a lot of things lining up there that could still work out well. I mean, I heard very recently on good authority that royalties were coming in on some of those projects, and we're going to start hitting the tokens very soon. I can't verify if it'll happen or not, but I'm holding on to cautious optimism. That's my honest stance. I'm holding my tokens. And I heard Jake talk about things like Lemon Lotto the other day, which, although I'm not a lottery player, that sounds hella exciting. I think that's going to do incredibly well. I can see so many promotional campaigns, so many ways to onboard the normies, so many ways to access audiences that are non-crypto, so many ways to do promotions and giveaways that are not just straight up cash like, the traditional lotto is. And the amount of revenues it could bring in, it was bigger than almost every business in the world combined. I'm going to move my NFTs over to those brand new projects. Like, to me, that just makes math and sense. That's not hype. That's fact. Like, I like that math. So that's me. And yeah, so for the treasury loans, we all hope it works out, right? Like, we got way too much friends and family and ourselves and money and tokens. Like Mike and I used to joke about, like, hey, in our dreams, we've already spent the money over there, you know? It's like, I got enough NatG tokens now anyway. Mining a few new ones isn't going to change anything. I'm either going to be wildly successful or I'm not. I can't change that. I'm not in control of that. But we have an ability to exert some control over here with people who are communicating, working really hard, and doing a lot for us. And so I think that's huge. So, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Matt, that's a great question, right? Like, a plan is only a plan, right? It doesn't matter what's on paper, right? The only thing that happens is what gets executed and how it plays out with that execution, right? It's just the way that works out, right? So I think, to me, that the plan is always based on tokenomics and the speed of adoption of the chain. Those are the two variables, right? Now, adoption of the chain comes from new users, but also from institutional investors, partners, L2 projects, locking up supply, and those variables, right? And I think that that's going to happen really, really fast. I also think that the tokenomics, as Jason confirmed the other day, so it's not me thinking, I'm reconfirming for you, that the tokenomics are all going to be much like the innate tokenomics. Think like a halving every 90 days. Well, if that's the math and they're all cash flowing right now and all things lemon are happening and one digital media comes in and does a big play and all these variables, we're not talking about years out. That's not the math, and that's not hype. That's called math. That's like gasoline on a big burning fire. There isn't another outcome for that to happen. So no, it's not a 3-year, 5-year deal. The new tokenomics for the new projects aren't going to be designed that way. They know that no one has any patience left in them to wait another 5 years. So it's being engineered differently. But it's not that they are manipulating the price. It's that they're engineering tokenomics and engineering the demand, not engineering the demand. You're finding ways to very creatively bring in large demand, and that changes the math. That changes the time frames.
Awesome. Any you want to check one time? We've been on for about 40 minutes. You want to see if just in case?
Yeah, he did send me some messages, but I just thought we would just take this on while we're in this far. And the gist of it is this, friends. The roadmap is not quite complete, and he refuses to let the week go by without it being done. So he asked me for a personal favor if I would get on with him on a Friday evening. So in X number of hours from now, I don't know if we have an exact time frame, but 3 or 4 hours from now-ish is kind of what I got implied from him. He and I are going to do a live with the roadmap so he can still deliver on his promise. And hey, that's fantastic. You know. And so I think that's huge. And right, assets don't disappear. It's always been just about math, friends. Like, anytime, if you listen back to any call Healy and I have always did, we're talking about the math. I'm talking about math coming in this way and tokens shrinking this way. It's always that convergence, those two things. But when they both converge, there's only one outcome. It's literally a mathematical equation. Right. Well, the only thing you can't guarantee, well, the tokenomics, you can't guarantee how many tokens burn every month, but you know they're going to burn every month. You can guarantee when a halving happens. Like, there are certain things that are put in place that are baked into the cake that there is no turning back on. That's tokenomics, friends.
Absolutely.
Someone asked about the funds. We went over that with the funds earlier. It's going to be on Binance Smart Chain, so hold your funds in something Binance. So that's the only good move we can make.
Well, do you want to dismiss or keep going? And then if you get, I mean, it's 11:30 his time, so he might be staying up late just to do another one with you.
Yeah, listen, yeah, Jay's going to get to, he told me tonight he's basically going to skip sleep, finish the roadmap, keep his commitment. He'll get on with me in the middle of the morning over there and asked me if I would set aside my Friday night to get on with him at that time. So I think because it's not a pre-scheduled live, we'll probably find out fairly last minute, but I will post it in the groups unless he, for some reason, doesn't want to go live. So if you guys want to join us for that live, by all means, we will be doing that. But if not, Jason and I will definitely be recording it. We are going to get it out. He is keeping his commitment. We are going to do this. We're going to do the damn thing. And I have some other things I was supposed to do tonight, but I'm going to push them off as well because I'm committed to this, because we always find time for our priorities. Like I was saying earlier, and it's a priority for me. It's a priority for my friends and family. I told them I would do anything and everything I could, whatever small part I can play to make this good and make this work for everybody. And so here we are playing our part, keeping our commitments, friends. So I will let you know in the groups if and when what time we go. It'll probably be a pretty last minute thing for when it's done. But yeah, we will be live and ready to go for you guys. So
you'll drop that in Telegram then, correct?
Yeah, we'll drop it in Telegram when I know what I do know.
Beautiful.
But I think it's going to be dependent on, like, he's setting an estimate for when he thinks it'll be done. And if it's done a little earlier, we'll get on earlier. And if it's taking a little longer, we're going to get on a little later. And I think we're just going to have to play it by ear by that. Yeah. But
that's cool.
Hey, the week won't end. The week won't end with everyone getting what they wanted. And we need to show some respect and gratitude for that kind of stuff. And tell all the sour lemons that if they want to stay sour, we'll give them some sugar. But if they really want to stay sour after the sugar, it's time to pack your lemon bags.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Terry Tiller, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you being on here and answering all these good questions for everybody.
Yeah, likewise, Mike. Glad we got to jump on. I think there was still value in here, right? We're still sorting out some questions and sorting out some uncertainty and sharing some stuff. And we're plenty capable to help out here. And Jason and I will definitely get a live going at some point, friends. So we'll see you on there.
Looking forward to it. Roadmap, here we come.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good one.
All right. See you, peeps.